Just go, don't worry.
All right. Welcome to episode 6 of MakerCast. I'm Liz, let's say DIY. You are currently on my channel. I'm going to go around and have everyone introduce themselves, starting with Dave.
Okay, that's unexpected. Yeah, hi, I'm Dave. I'm calling myself Dave Daku on the interwebs, and I do stuff like 3D printing and PCB art.
Cool. All right, bitluni.
Yeah, hi, I'm bitluni, and you know me from bitluni's lab, and I'm creating like electronic gadgets and also like electro scooters and any kind of vehicles and LED projects.
Cool.
And that's all.
Okay, Seon.
Hey everyone, I'm Seon, known as Unexpected Maker. That's my YouTube channel. I just tinker with electronics. I design custom PCBs and trying to build a bit of a hardware business around my channel. And also, do a bit of coding. That's it. Yep.
Nice. Okay, and Stephen.
Yeah, my name is Stephen Ludgate, or Chunky Stevo on the socials. I'm usually 3D printing, trying to make something which I never seem to get around to, and opening lots of AliExpress post bags, which I've had to apologize to someone on my recent comment. He says he's got about 100 items coming, all down to me. So I apologize for that addiction.
Well, everyone has free will, I guess.
And free shipping.
Free will and free shipping.
Perfect. All right. So if you've never seen an episode of MakerCast before, basically we kind of go around and talk about what we've been making. And then David Watts started last month with the idea of maybe having a quiz segment. So we'll be continuing that tradition today, and also a new segment called Sword Fight, which will be explained in time. But I thought we could start out by having people talk about what they've been working on, going alphabetical by handle, which means that bitluni, you would be first.
No, not me first. It's every time me first and not prepared. Okay, so what did I do this month? I'm not sure when was the last time. Did I release my crazy card project yet last time?
I don't think you had.
No.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, that's a total flop. That video didn't go well. I had like only 10,000 views on that, but it was huge fun to make it. And
Wow.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe the video was flagged because I had such a clickbaity cover image for that, and yeah. But I'm not done with that project. I have to improve the steering, and that's very complicated to do the way I want to do it, since I want to every single wheel to rotate individually, and yeah, that's a little bit more complicated, and that will take another half a year to finish that. And what I did after that was installing a solar panel on my garage, and that was a cool project for midsummer, since we have like the highest sun in the year and the longest days. And yeah, what I did is like a basic DIY approach to get like cheap microinverter and 300 watt LED panel, sorry, solar panel, and to connect it to the mains power. So very yeah, risky, let's say, or not risky. It's like yeah, sophisticated. It's not, but you take your risk to connect it to your grid, and but it works, and I have saved a lot of power on that. I could maybe even log in and show it to you, maybe live.
Okay.
And if that works, I have to just to share my screen on that, and let's see what it did. Maybe it's, oh yeah, that works probably. Can Can
Yep,
you
we've
see
got
my
your screen.
screen? Yes, yes. So currently I'm producing 0 watts of power, but yeah, my income was for the time that this tool was connected to the internet. So I have this bridge. It was like €6 saved already for the few days that it had, and today's energy was 1.6 kilowatts. It was a little bit overcast, and yeah, I already produced like 10 kilowatt hours of energy, and we can even see like that was the real time in history. So it's a cool microinverter with some cloud features. And if that loads, oh yeah, you can see this is an overcast day since the production dropped. But if we take a look at the week, we had maybe some sunny days. Yeah, that was a sunny day without any overcast. And yeah, it's simply, yeah. So it's working fine by now, and not sure if it's completely legal to have it like that, or it's probably not illegal, but it's not like I have to let the technician take a look at this, and
It's like a gray.
yeah, probably.
And
Not
there's a
sure.
question in chat, if you're able to answer. How much did your project cost, all in all, including the bridge, etc.?
The bridge was like discounted. I had all the links under this video of my actual source, so I don't have this ones aren't even affiliate links. So the bridge was like €80, but that's optional. So you can just connect the microinverter and the panel. And I got the panel from wholesale for €100. That's really cheap with shipping. So I had like my old flatmates. We just came together and ordered like 8 panels or something in total. And the shipping, we shared the shipping costs for that, since they are quite heavy. It's 18 kilograms for one panel. And it was in total, like for one panel was €100. I got 2 panels, and currently the setup with the one panel was €100 for the panel. Then the microinverter was €149, and I paid for additional cables like maybe €30 or something. And that's like a total, I would say, of probably €300 to get it going. But that's without any installation. It's just laying flat almost on like some wooden boards on the garage, and so I have to do some additional work to get this set up. But that's like the basic setup. You can get a bigger inverter, or like say, an inverter for like 250 for 2 panels. So it's a little bit cheaper to have a bigger installation than that. And yeah, but that's the 300 watts covers my base load, and I can't go higher than that because I can't feed back to the grid. That's not legal with my meter that I have installed in this house. So that was quite a nice project. It was quick, and yeah, it's well received, I think. So, and that's back to unshare it. Yeah, there I am. Okay, so that was the last project that I did, and yeah, the one that I'm working right now on is I got my electro scooter running again. So the motor was that broke, and what I did now is install brakes. So I have like this, this from the sensor kits or whatever, this analog joystick, and I can use regenerative braking with my with the stick if I go back like this, and use replenish the batteries when I want to brake. So that's an improvement from the state before, and I'm using the VESC controller like I said last time, and this is working now. I have also some footage. I only need to like some additional measurements of the currents and edit the video, which takes like ages, and then that will be my next video. And that's all from me.
Cool. Thank you. Up next is going to be Chunky Steve-O.
I mean, if you want to do my handle, it's an S. It's Stephen, which is lower, but
It's
I can
also
get
Blitz
I can get
DIY.
out. Yeah, I can get it out of the way. I've not done a huge amount since I last make a cast, but excuse me. David Watts pushed my name forward to Rigid Ink, who are looking for someone to do some instructional videos for 3D printing. So they thought some of my content and the way I present, I'll be able to do some instructional videos for their own platform. So I'm in the middle of doing that and sorting all that out. So I've just kind of been concentrating back on 3D printing again. But what I did do, which has been the stress of my life, is I spotted a few issues with my printer. So I thought when I'm going to be showing various print settings and results, I should make sure that my printer is running absolutely fine. And this is one of the original parts. Let's have a look. So it's a Prusa style. It's a P3 steel, so it's a Prusa style. So this is the X-axis. It's going to focus. No. This is the X-axis idler side. It's done in PLA orange, and it's been going fine for several years now. But I did notice it's got a little crack in the back. So the two rods are not actually not physically connected using the plastic, and as it was printing, I could see it was opening and closing. So I thought I'll just easily reprint this part. This is in orange PLA, so I've got it in orange PETG, and the PETG just gives you a bit more resistance, a bit more resilience, and longer lasting. But it's been the bane of my life trying to get the printer to print this PETG because I've upgraded my print bed, just trying to make everything nice and work perfectly, and it's all gone a bit Pete Tong. And it's been a nightmare. But you can see how disgusting this part was. There's grease and lithium grease and silicone, and it's several years old. It's printed thousands of meters of plastic. It's done well, but it's a good rule. If you are using a 3D printer that's using plastic parts, make sure you have got a set of spare plastic parts, because if your 3D printer breaks, you can't 3D print a spare part. So always have a set of spare parts printed so you can just replace them. Otherwise, you're going to have to rely on someone else if you don't have another 3D printer. But luckily, I was able to print it, and I'm trying to be a perfectionist and get my printer up and running and working perfectly. But it's been a nightmare. I hate 3D printing. When it turns from a skill to an art form, I am not an artist. Sometimes I just want to get a cheap Ender 3 and just be like, there you go, print. But that's not what I like doing. I enjoy the skill of 3D printing and making the perfect part, and always trying to improve it and get better. So that's all I've really been doing, printing out parts and trying to get my printer printing better.
I've actually got oh, sorry, Liz.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say I've got the Prusa Mark III, and I've got the Mark III S upgrade that I waited like 3 months for, and it's been sitting here for, I don't know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. But I've only finally got my printer printing really well, like, and reliably, and I just don't want to pull it apart and upgrade it because I'm scared that, you know, I'll be set back 6 months with wonky printing again. Like, it's taking me months to really tune my printer.
What did you change?
So I've got the so Prusa released their new Mark III S, which is their upgraded version of the Mark III, and you can buy the upgrade kits because all of their printers are upgradable. So I bought the upgrade kit.
I mean, what did you tune to get your printer behaving?
So all my printer settings and my my filament, the feeder, the tensioning system around the filament, because I used to get a lot of times where the filament wouldn't feed anymore, like especially when I jump between using Flex and then going back to a PLA and then PETG. Like I just kept getting lots of issues with feeding. And so I'm even on the older firmware because I finally got like just everything. I don't know, it was just lots of stuff, and I got like all my retraction settings perfect and everything else in the older version of Slicer. Like I just don't want to change my slicer version. I don't want to change my firmware. I don't want to do anything right now with it. But I spent a fortune on this upgrade kit, and it's just sitting sitting in here. So one day, yeah.
Well, you could just buy another printer and then upgrade that one.
Thanks.
Perfect. I actually had to recalibrate my printer this morning because I had to move it for an apartment inspection. I had to hide it in my closet. So I brought it back out, and I could tell it was a little wonky, so I was redoing that this morning. And I just started using the Slicer 2.0, the like Prusa Slicer 2.0. And when you get G-code out of that and put it into your Prusa, it like beeps at you if there's a firmware update, but it's a different kind of beep that normally does. So I thought something was like really wrong with my machine. Like I get the feature, but I didn't appreciate it at the time. So now it's going to beep at me every time telling me I need to upgrade my firmware.
Well, that's the thing. I really want to move to Slicer 2 because it looks fantastic, and just being able to, anyway, some of the features are just really great, but I can't unless I upgrade the firmware. And I just don't want to, every time I upgrade the firmware, I have problems with the printing again. So
yeah, even this morning, like doing the like recalibration, it was like a pain in the neck, like, and it shouldn't have been that hard.
What's the issue with your landlord? Aren't you allowed to have a printer in your flat, or what?
I mean, they've never said specifically no, but I don't really want to find out.
hope they're not watching.
I'm sure it's fine. But I just get a little paranoid. So where if I'm not going to be here while they're doing it and I'm not able to like explain myself, then.
Yeah, but you don't hide your cats in your closet.
The cats are fine. I even I even pay a little extra rent for them to be able to stay here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, not like the landlord is walking by the closet and a paw reaches out of the closet and tries to attack him or something.
I wouldn't put it past them. They pulled down my curtains twice last night, so they're pretty rambunctious.
Okay.
I think cats are probably a higher fire risk than a 3D printer.
I think a cat with a 3D printer would probably be the highest fire risk.
My Mark II is quite noisy. So 3D printer is really an issue if it's a cheap one or an old one that makes that regular noises, like going back and forth and back and forth. So I could even hear it from like another floor, the printer when I was sleeping, and that was annoying. So if you have like prints of 30 hours, that could be an issue if you're living in a really cheap flat with like paper thin walls or something.
Yeah, I have mine. I have laundry in my unit, which is basically the only reason why I live here. And I have it like right next to that. So I feel like that closet is a little bit more insulated in general because it was kind of planned out that way. So I'm hoping it kind of blocks the noise a bit because I've also had noise complaints here for my music. So it's living on the edge.
Yeah. You're playing guitar.
Yes.
So you're the problem tenant, are you already?
Apparently. Apparently, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So Dave Darko, would you like to tell us what you've been making?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So yesterday I was uploading the latest video that I made for Element 14, and let's see if anyone can see what this is.
Yay! Question counters the third kind.
Yes.
I love that one.
It's the Devil. What was the name? Devil's Peak or Devil's Mountain? Yeah, Devil's Mountain. And I found a model. Someone used a highly detailed scan of that, and I printed that as a gimmick for the video. And yeah, I gotta find a good place for that. And the actual project that I made with that's the back side. Woo! Yeah. Oh yeah, let's make the woo again. Can you see?
Yeah.
Woo!
So
yeah.
Oh.
I've played with FFT a bit, so it's not actually it's not every frequency has its own light. So I think I have like 24 channels. Yeah, I think it's 24. So I'm using that to show something on that matrix. But it also has MIDI input and
Wow, that's cool.
USB MIDI output. Yeah,
You're not going to
and
show us
that's all.
now? You're not going to show
Sorry?
us? You're not going to give us a sneak peek? Come on.
Well, technically, I just gave you the sneak peek.
No, a working sneak peek.
And yeah, otherwise I have to re-flash the firmware because the MIDI part is another Arduino program. I should, yeah. If I want to have that on, if I want to have both firmware things running on there, I need to add another switch so I can switch modes and stuff. So yeah, it's very basic, but it works and it looks nice. So I'm happy with that.
You have this MIDI to reproduce the scene when they play the melody, and you want to show the actual notes on the display. Yeah, and okay, so you couldn't do that with the FFT, obviously.
No. I mean, I think when I would have used the Teensy instead, I might have it might have worked. There's some cool functions with the Teensy that you can get the frequency that's basically the most the loudest frequency right now. So I think if I use that, then I can map that to the LEDs, and then I can do it something like that. But yeah, like that, it's cool as well. So I might not use the Teensy because now I'm starting the other project for Element 14. But yeah. So what else was there? I was at the hardware happy hour in Berlin. That's something that Drew from Oshpark organized, and this was like announced on Monday and was on Tuesday or Tuesday and Wednesday. And I brought my Space Invaders game. It's technically not a game. Oh, sorry, what?
Is it working? Have you finished the code?
No, I can do this.
But you can't shoot.
The
honestly, I'm
question
pretty
is
happy with that.
offensive. Seon, the question is
thought it was like
offensive.
that.
Have you finished the code? The code is never finished. You know that.
No. I see a lot of orange thingies in my in the YouTube chat section. Is there something else I wanted to show? I think there was like 2 things. Why is it not made of mashed potato? Oh yeah, I made mashed potato for the video, so it's in the video as well. Have you been watching Close Encounters of the Third Kind? Well, yeah, a lot.
That's actually about that.
Oh, I thought it was Independence Day where they shoot it. No.
Yeah, and I gave the president's speech. Today is the final. Okay, no, never mind. So I think the video will be out like in 3 or 4 weeks on a Friday on Element 14. So
So long to wait.
it's and my YouTube channel is neglected. I should just post it there and then wait for Element 14. No.
This one will probably go viral again, like the Game Boy thing.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we always want that, right? But my last video with the robot, that came out on Friday and is now at like 3,000 clicks, and like the usual when we get over the weekend, the clicks are around like 8,000, but everyone else has like 6,000 right now. So there must be some kind of summer hole, hopefully.
Yeah, it's summer hole, definitively. That's what I say to me.
So is the Space Invaders board eventually going to be on your Tindy site, do you think? Or
I mean, yeah, I have 10 PCBs of that. And I definitely have some LEDs. I bought I think I bought 1,000 white LEDs already. I just have to kit it up and then, So the main thing that's holding me back is the firmware.
You need more than 10 PCBs of that.
Yeah, I'll take one. I'll take it without the firmware.
I'll take. I'll
I
take.
take it as
I'll
well.
take the. I'll take the other
I will
9.
as well. I'll do,
You are sold out.
Right. I mean, I always think that about my PCBs, and then it's like I think the Star Blinken kit that I sold that like 5 or 6 times now, and
cool.
4 people of that were from this group. So
Oh,
Yeah, it's hanging on my wall. I'm looking at it right now.
Do you know Dave hasn't announced how much it's going to be yet, right? It's like $99, isn't it? Just based on about his kit.
If I have to solder it, yeah, maybe 50,
that's
but
the
yeah.
worst. Yeah.
Pick and place.
Seon will
no.
produce it for you.
If you can show me a pick and place that can solder LEDs upside down, then yeah, but I don't think so.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a problem.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
but that video will be on your channel then, with the Space Invaders.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that will be another good one.
So
Right.
how many LEDs are there on the board in total?
It's 110 for the matrix. It's like 10 by 11. A Charlieplex matrix, and then there are like 3 for the lives. So
Can you on this speaker? Can you do speech synthesis like Ghostbusters?
I think it's since it's in the case, it's very it's not that noisy. It's very quiet. So
Hold it up so we can see the case. What?
oh,
Sorry.
yeah. So this is 3D printed, and then I forgot the name. Steve, what was the name of the?
That's Vertigo Galaxy by Filamentum.
So there are some golden sparkles in the black PLA.
That's
It's
really
Very
nice.
nice. I'll tell you what you need to do now if you've been seeing on Adafruit and Dave from the guy that prints onto fabric. They've been printing on diffraction grating
Yeah.
to get that rainbow. That would look amazing on that.
Ooh, yeah.
Wow, that would look so cool. I would buy 10 more.
I've met him at the SuperCon last year, so he's probably be there. Yeah, he will there probably again, hopefully.
It's really cool, that whole diffraction thing. It's really
Oh, I didn't see that. What material did
so
he use?
he's
PLA?
used,
or-
it works best for PLA, and you're printing onto diffraction grating.
Yeah,
So the first layer is picking up the holographic
yeah, I know.
engraving.
I saw that on Thought Emporium's channel. He did it like with silicon or something to do like a gecko, like a rubber thingy. So he did it as well, and also reported that he was able to use this silicon to molding like and getting that rainbow color. So I saw it there, but I didn't see the project with 3D printing. So I would think, since I have also a sheet of diffraction grating here, I would assume that it melts if you use PLA, but probably not.
No, yeah, it seems to hold up.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, a few of the videos that Adafruit have done, it seems to curl or it seems to warp, but yeah, you can. It does seem to work well. It's very
Cool.
clever.
Yeah, they've gotten some really cool effects with it. Cool. All right. Thank you, Dave. Seon, what are you picking and placing?
Hi. What am I picking and placing? Tiny Picos. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
I've had a pretty interesting little while. The last couple of weeks, it's been like a different shift. So like I've been spending a lot of my time packing. It took me probably about a week and a half to work out how to pack everything to send it to America, because it's about optimizing how much weight and space to reduce my costs. But I did, and I shipped, and it's now. Why is Steve-O's picture on the screen? How can I see Steve-O?
Thanks a lot.
Oh,
I think he's clicking
it's like
something.
I'm talking directly to Steve-O.
Better
And-
haircut.
Yeah, and so it's gone, and not only is it gone, but it arrived, and they tried to deliver it to Crowd Supply, but Crowd Supply were closed because of the July 4th celebrations. They must have shut down for half the week.
Americans are the worst.
Well, not saying anything. So I assume they're going to try to redeliver it again on Monday. But yeah, it's there. So all of the backer orders and all of the first lot of pre-orders is in America, and now they just need to get into the warehouse and start shipping it, which is really exciting. But yeah, that was actually quite an interesting challenge. When I first started the campaign, obviously, as many of you know, I really not on purpose, but I lowballed how many things I was going to sell, right? Like I really expected to be selling less than a quarter of what I did. And so I never considered shipping and insurance and logistics as something that was going to be difficult. I thought, hey, I'll just put it into a box and ship it, right? No. I ended up having to do a lot of work to, repackage things and get them there as cheaply as possible. But and since then I've been still building more tiny picos. I haven't decided yet what I'm doing about that bigger order, but I'm building stock for Tindy at the moment and for other pre-orders that are coming in from Crowd Supply. And I think I'm going to launch my own purchasing system on the tinypico.com website as well. So there'll be multiple places to buy it. So I'm just trying to build up some stock right now. And I'm trying to kind of think ahead about some other shields I want to build for the Tiny Pico. And I've got my next revision coming to me tomorrow from JLC PCB. So for those that don't know, I'm doing a revision of the board to try to help me improve my manufacturing on them, because they're actually quite difficult to manufacture in this scale anyway. There's not so much of a problem when you're building a few hundred of them, but thousands of them, that they're not ideal. So I've made a few tweaks to the board to try to improve the manufacturing ability of them. And some of you might have seen a video I released the other day where I have now got my hands on the beta silicon of the new ESP32S2 chip, which is these little guys here. Put them in front of my forehead so you can see them. Yeah, so that's the module, the beta module, kind of like what a room module is. That's a little chip there. So this is the ESP32S2, and there's been a lot of confusion, not specifically from my video, but just in general out there, because of the name. It's like an ESP32S2, and people think it's an upgraded version of the ESP32, but it's not. It's a cheaper cut-down version. So it doesn't replace the current dual-core ESP32. It sits between the 8266 and the current dual-core. So yeah, there's been a lot of interesting chatter on both my video and some of in Reddit and other places that I posted. But that's been pretty good. It's probably my my best performing video I've ever released, which is great. And big shout out to Brian Locke for pushing me to do it. But yeah, it's really cool. So I've already started tinkering with a design for the board to because this is their reference board, which again I've also got. It's the beta hardware on there as well. And obviously this is my Tiny Pico. So I really don't want to play with the board this big. I want to play with the board this big. So I'm already trying to work out how I can build a board out of it. But currently the silicon doesn't. So it's got onboard USB. It's one of its new features on this chip. So you don't need a separate USB chip. But it's currently not available in the beta silicon. But it's not going to be active until the next chip comes out. So I'll thank you, Mr. Ludgate, for posting that video. So yeah, that's pretty cool because I've got early hardware, which is a first for me, and I really want to design something cool with it. It's just a matter of juggling my time. And I'm about to start working on. Ages ago, I released a War Games video where I did a soundboard of some of the sound samples from the movie. And I mentioned in that video that there were two projects I wanted to do. And so the next project, which obviously has taken a while to get started, I've got everything I need now for it. So I'm really keen to jump into that. I'm mentioning it now because obviously Dave has mentioned his video that he's doing for Close Encounters. So yeah, my second War Games video doesn't play music like Dave's does, but it's going to be something similar-ish. That's not even a word. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been doing. I'm really looking forward to getting back into designing some more boards. Also, just finally got a Reflow Master code update out, which I've been sitting on for a while. I've been using it myself to build tiny picos, but I pushed that out to GitHub yesterday. So it's nice to get back onto that. And the last thing I've been doing, which is kind of ongoing, is I'm getting all of the software and website stuff ready for tiny picos. So when everyone gets their boards, they'll have a everything ready to go. The main thing I'm working on right now is the getting started guide. Did you just have a visitor, Steve?
I did, yes. That was my fiance. She's returned from saving lives.
Come back, say hi.
Yeah. Just waving. She's a doctor. She's an MD.
Consultant.
Hi.
Hi.
Cool. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. Unfortunately, still mostly tiny pico related. Well, not unfortunately, but for me, I feel like I've been eating, breathing, sleeping, dreaming tiny pico forever. Can't wait to get on.
When are you going to rest, Seon?
I have slowed down a little bit now. Like I'm only building 30 or 40 boards a day at the moment, and
Only.
sleeping a little bit more. But that's all going to, of course, change again soon when I ramp up again. But yeah, that's okay. I don't mind. I'll rest when I'm
Dead.
Yeah.
Don't make that too soon, though.
No, I'm going to try to prolong it as much as I can.
Make sure you shift my tiny pico.
It's up to crowd supply now. I don't have it anymore. They've got everything. So hopefully, I don't know how long it's going to take them for them to ship. I know that they quoted me up to 3 weeks to get everything out, but I don't know what is doing. But I don't know how long it's going to take. Hopefully, they'll start packing and shipping as early as next week. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you. Are we ready for a quiz?
No.
No? So the theme of the quiz is historical figures in electronics and science. So there's going to be 4 questions, and you're going to need to identify the person.
It's like Jeopardy.
Are you ready? No?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, all right. So the first one, who was the first woman in space?
I can only say that it's probably a Russian.
Yes.
Yeah. I just saw it the other day.
Yeah, me too.
While they're thinking, Liz, you haven't told us what you've been working on.
That's okay. Actually,
That's a good
after
point.
the quiz, I'll tell a story. I'll tell a story.
Okay.
Okay. Have we given up?
So
Okay.
Off the top of my head, it's Valentine or somebody. I can't remember.
Yeah. I'll give you half a point.
No, don't give me a point.
Valentina Tereshkova, she went to space on June 16th, 1963. She's a cosmonaut. Yeah. So the second question. This person is known for pioneering the BBC radiophonic workshop. This person's also responsible for the Doctor Who opening theme song.
Probably a British guy now.
Is anyone here British?
Wow.
Do, 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 do,
You've
do.
got to obscure places on the internet, haven't you, Liz?
Is it someone famous?
I consider this
Is it like
person to be
pop
famous. I mean, I wrote a paper on this person in college, and I actually heard this person mentioned at Maker Faire in reference to a talk. So fairly famous. No? Nothing?
Oh.
Okay. Delia Derbyshire.
Yeah.
She's considered like an electronics music pioneer. She did a lot of stuff with tape splicing.
Okay.
So I recommend looking her up. She's a very interesting person. And she did a lot of cool stuff.
And the Doctor Who theme tune is awesome as well. If you've never heard that. Even if you don't watch
I will
the theme-
lose like 10,000 subscribers if I admit that I never saw an episode of Doctor Who.
I've only seen the
Wow.
one with the angels. My roommate in college made me watch it.
Don't blink.
bitluni, I'm
Don't
unsubscribing.
So I'm not alone.
Unsubscribed.
Oh.
The angels are creepy. They really freaked me out. Did not appreciate that.
It's a good entry episode though. The
Yeah.
Don't Blink one. Yeah.
I also knit the Doctor Who scarf for that roommate as well. But I had no idea really what I was knitting. I was just following a pattern. I didn't really understand the significance.
like the Tom Baker one, the whole
Yeah, with the yeah.
But yeah, being English, I've grown up with Doctor Who. It's like a Saturday night TV.
Right, yeah.
Put Doctor Who on. Yeah.
So what were your thoughts about a new female Doctor Who character then, Mr. Ludgate?
Which goes with the theme for the quiz.
I don't. Yeah, I was guessing that was going to be female. I don't follow Doctor Who that much, but I'm all for it. Why not? Why not?
Yes.
It's a doctor. You get female doctors.
She's pretty good as a doctor.
She is actually, yeah.
And his sidekick was always female, so they were always doing the legwork.
Typical.
Always. Yeah.
All right, question 3. This mathematician was critical in calculating orbital mechanics for NASA that aided in manned spaceflights. They were awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2015 by President Barack Obama, who I miss very much.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. I know exactly. I can remember the photo, but I can't remember the name.
I'm just gonna grab my Hidden Figures Blu-ray right now and then.
She was featured in Hidden Figures, yeah.
Pass.
Oh, shame on us. We don't know all the important women.
I think we're uncovering some bias.
Oh, no.
So this is Katherine Johnson.
Yeah.
Was her name. Yeah. Okay, last one. This actress was also an inventor, and a documentary was relatively recently released about her life.
Is this the person who dealt with radar in World War II?
Yes.
Frequency hopping.
Oh, yeah, that one.
So it wasn't Margaret Thatcher with the ice cream invention.
No.
Okay.
I know who she is. But I can't put her name.
Oh.
I know.
For the record,
So shameful.
can I just
Is
state
it-
that I also don't remember any of the males' names for
Yeah, sure.
Correct.
Clear.
Yes.
It's not a
No
gender
music
thing for me.
producer.
Like,
It's just an overall ignorance.
overall, I'm not good with
So
names.
difficult. Also so difficult.
Oh, that was a slap.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Okay, that was Hedy Lamarr.
Yes.
Really? Was she an inventor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's. I think she's the one that also worked on frequency hopping, which was later then used for Bluetooth.
Yes. Yes.
Why didn't you say she
never
was in
heard her
Blazing
name before.
If you would have said she was in Blazing Saddles, I would have picked it.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
All right.
Wow.
So Steven got half a point.
No, don't give me that half point.
Wow.
I'm so ashamed.
Okay,
It's
we-
okay.
That was terrible.
I
We
think
just
I
got
think
a
it
wow
should keep
boys.
going until someone gets one right.
As if David Watts would have known. Wow, boys. Really?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
To be fair, I had negative points with David's quiz, so I mean, technically you all scored higher than me.
At least you
Oh,
tried
man.
answering. And also the clue.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I feel so awful. I need to like a book, Important Women from the History or something.
Rocket Girls is a good one to start with. It talks about the mathematicians and physicists that worked on the NASA rockets in the 50s before they even got into the air.
Rocket Girls, okay.
I was waiting for the Ada Lovelace question.
Nah, it's too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, these were actually quite obscure though, weren't they?
For the next time, there should be one easy question where everyone can
Like
scream
Marie
the name.
Curie, I know her.
I thought some of these were easy, but it's okay. It's all right.
I'm just looking up Rocket Girls, the book. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna read.
It's like penance. Like,
No, I love reading about this sort of stuff.
yeah, it's a really good one.
Yeah.
So before we go into the sword fight, which hopefully won't be as bloody as that quiz was,
The what? Sword fight.
don't worry, it'll be fine. I do have a little story. Some of you might have saw I got a Raspberry Pi 4 for review, which was very unexpected. So I had met Alex, who does their Raspberry Pi social media at Maker Faire. And then like probably a week before the Pi was announced, she emailed me and was like, oh, would you ever want to do like some of the Pi review things? I was like, oh, sure. And she said, do you agree to embargo? I'm like, oh, sure. And then she like sent me all the info for the Pi 4 and I was like, oh, this is like happening now. Okay. So I immediately started like benchmarking the Pi 3 and 3B Plus to like compare. And the Pi 4 was like in the mail. It was getting like closer and closer. I knew the embargo was that Monday morning, which 2 a.m. my time. And my Pi 4 got here that Thursday night.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just like
No pressure.
no, I really thought it wasn't gonna come at all like in time. I was like, there's no way, like it's not gonna get here. So it got there and I like immediately started doing benchmarks. And I had like plans that Saturday. And so that Saturday night is when I actually filmed the video and edited and got it up for early Monday morning. So it was quite the adventure. And as a result, there's some mistakes in my charts that the comments have pointed out quite a bit, which I accept. But yeah, I tried to be fancy and show like percentage increase. And some of them are inverted because my brain wasn't thinking properly about how like the lower score is better. So I was putting things in the wrong order to get the percentage. Like it was still showing that the Pi 4 had increased in percentage performance. So I wasn't really catching it because I was rushing. And yeah, but yeah, it was quite the adventure.
Wow, that would have been stressful.
Yeah, but it all worked out.
It was a good video.
Thank you. I tried to be as journalistic as possible, and based on a lot of like PC performance benchmarks, because I didn't really know how else to approach it, really.
I mean, on paper, the Pi 4 doesn't actually look overly fantastic, really. I mean, compared to, what the 3B Plus was. But so many people are saying it's now pretty much on par with all of the low-end PCs you can buy, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I was really shocked by how well the performance was with the 4 gigabytes of RAM. I did pick up a 1 gigabyte RAM model to do some tests on because the only thing that I think is a little misleading is like they're still saying like, oh, $35 computer can perform this well, but all the test models out there are the 4 gig version, which is 55. So I'm curious how the 1 gig model performs in comparison because
I wouldn't perform any differently.
Just because it's missing that like 3 gigs of RAM, which I think is probably contributing to a lot of that performance.
Okay, but unlike a PC, for instance, it'll go to a scratch disk and slow your machine down if you have enough RAM. The Pi doesn't do that though, does it? So why would? I'm curious. I don't know. Like I don't really use Pi as much other than my test jig. So.
I mean, I'm just curious to see like if there's a performance difference. Yeah.
Okay, I thought maybe they're 4 gig of RAM, like they're using faster RAM or something than the 1 gig model.
It is also faster RAM. Well, on the 4, it's all DDR4. But previous Pi models only had 1 gig of RAM as well, so I'm just curious how it compares. Yeah,
that makes sense. Cool.
Yeah. So
Got Colin has said that the Pi will use swap, and it will massively slow it down.
So it uses swap on the SD card.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
That will just destroy it.
That'd be terrible. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. So interesting.
Oh, and there is a question about the chat where scheduled video would actually air before the embargo ends. I was also scared, so I did not schedule it, and I waited till I got up in the morning to release it. I didn't care that I was going to miss the actual time. Because it also seemed like so weird that like there was a new Pi coming out like this early. So I also like didn't quite believe that it was real also. But
you might not have been the first video, but you were the first video that I watched. So that's okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I actually shut my Twitter feed down. Like every, like there was like 1 in 11 tweets weren't about, oh, look at this, I'm reviewing the Pi. Like it's like everyone got a Pi except for me.
All the videos on YouTube were like Raspberry Pi 4, Pi 4, Pi 4,
Yeah.
Pi 4.
It's
Guess
amazing.
what I got? Pi 4, Pi 4.
Yeah. All right. So are we ready for the sword fight?
As ready as the quiz, yes.
Bring it.
Oh! Wow.
There
Where's
we go.
yours, Looney? Looney, where's yours?
Wait for the sound.
Yeah.
It's a really Kylo Ren sound, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So the idea of this is, and a couple other shows will do this, where I'm going to give you 2 topics that are kind of like against each other, like different opinions. And so I'm going to go around, and you're going to tell me and the world really, which one you're in favor of and why, in like really quick, like 1 sentence. If you waffle, I will cut you off.
Cut me off now. Cut me off now.
what happened?
So
Who's reading the chat?
Polarizing questions or
as related to electronics and making things and stuff.
okay,
So,
no politics and no,
No.
religion.
God,
no
no,
politics.
absolutely not. No. Although some of these might be seen as religion to makers, so take that
Abs.
what you will.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
Abs. No places.
All right, are we ready? The first one is Eagle versus KiCad, and we're going to start with bitluni.
I don't use either of them, so KiCad.
Okay. Dave.
I just have to say Eagle or what sorry, I was reading the chat when you were saying the Eagle flag. What's happening? I'm
Okay,
for
really
Eagle.
quick. Why are you for Eagle?
Oh, why am I for it? Okay.
Really quick.
Because I'm used to it.
Okay. Steven.
With my lack of use of them, I would say Eagle though, because I went with what I thought was the industry standard, and Adafruit was using it, and it just seems like the one to go for. Although KiCad apparently is just as good, and now I'm used to Eagle.
All right.
Waffle.
Seon.
Eagle, definitely. I don't think KiCad's mature enough yet. It's still, they're, different parts of their software look totally different. Like they're from 2 different developers, and some of the way they
open
work.
source?
Sorry?
Above open source?
What do you mean?
Is KiCad open source and Eagle?
Yeah, it's open source. Yeah,
Both.
it's open source, but it's just it looks fragmented in the way it's presented.
Okay.
And it's still not stable enough for me. So yeah, Eagle.
Okay.
And the Eagle development is pushing ahead really far. So like it's
Okay.
feature-wise.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah. I am also pro Eagle, similar to Steven,
Oh.
mainly because
I use.
I follow along tutorials, and the
Yeah,
Eagle had the
I'm
most
team
tutorials.
Easy IDEA, like the whole chat. So the whole chat is fritzing and Easy IDEA, so I'm for
All
Easy
right.
IDEA.
Fair. You're the third party. All right. All right. Next up is C versus Python. And we're going to start with Seon.
I can't pick one or the other because they're really different for different uses.
Okay.
But I'm much more pro Python now than I used to be. That for sure. And so yeah, I'll say Python.
Python. All right. Steven.
Yeah. I'm going to coin Seon's phrase and say Arduino C. Only because I've used Arduino more than Python, which is bad because I should start learning Python. I saw an amusing meme, and it was like the print hello world in various different scripting languages, and Python just said print hello world. So
Fair. Okay. Dave.
C.
C. Okay.
Just because
Waffle.
there's more against Python from I don't like Python that much as I like C, because Python is not compatible with me right now.
And bitluni.
Okay. C versus Python would be a hard pick, but not C++ versus Python. I'm C++ guy, and I want that feature. So C++ for me, and Python will never win.
Okay. Another third party. I'm very into Python right now, just because I've been doing a lot of Raspberry Pi stuff and CircuitPython and MicroPython. So, but yeah, it depends on the situation, in my opinion. And now, I think this is probably the most controversial one. Leaded versus unleaded solder. And we're going to start with Dave.
Leaded solder, because it's easy to solder, and I like resin core one, and yeah.
Okay. Seon?
For things I don't have to ship overseas, so much easier to work with leaded. But yeah, I have to say, unfortunately, unleaded is the way it has to go. Not what I prefer, but the way it has to go.
Yeah.
bitluni.
Okay, I used unleaded for 6 years, and recently I switched to leaded solder because it's way easier to solder. So yeah, if I have to do a lot of soldering, then leaded solder is the way to go for me.
All right. And Steven.
yeah, leaded. Same reasons. It's easy to work with. Unleaded always seems harder. It's go with leaded. I'm not shipping anything out. I'm not selling anything. It's just me and my lungs. So I'm happy with the leaded.
Lead, that's a fallacy. Lead has nothing to do with your lungs. That's flux.
I'll breathe it all in.
I am unleaded all the way. Because I think that saying using leaded because it's easy is kind of a cop-out. Because there's health issues for yourself with unleaded, but let's say we push that out of the way. All electronics have an end of life. And when they go, that lead is going back into the environment. So there's that. And also, just get better at soldering.
Well, it came from there, so it's from the nature, so it can go
It's
back
from
to the
the
nature at one point.
I'll let Flint, Michigan know that it's just from the nature.
And also, can I just say, there's also like bismuth-based solder now, which is not leaded. It's unleaded, and it's much easier to work with. I don't know why there seem to be a lot of people who don't like working with bismuth, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, and it's much easier, low temp. All the reasons why people like leaded. So
Perfect.
Should give that a try.
Yeah, I encourage everyone to switch to unleaded. I know it's a rough one, but we can all do it, guys.
Yeah.
We can all do it.
When the roll is empty, it's 500 grams, so it's gonna take a while.
All right. So the next one is surface mount versus through hole.
Oh.
And we're going to start with Steven.
Service mount. It's It's just cooler. It's better. It's smaller. You can mess with it. It is. He's not on, is he, Julian? Through Hall always just feels like it's a kit, and you can do better, and you can do smaller. And like Dave is a master at the reverse LED, and you can there's so much more you can do with SMD. It's not just pads and small tiny rectangles. SMD.
Very cool. All right. bitluni.
True is easier to start with because
Your audio's gone, Looney.
You're like half plugged in, probably.
Come a little bit closer.
Can you hear me? No? Oh. Sorry.
Oh no.
We could skip him and
Yes,
come back.
we'll come back to you, bitluni. Seon.
Surface mount all the way. I hate doing through-hole soldering. Just despise it. I don't. Some people think it's relaxing. I don't enjoy it at all. Through-hole all the way.
The emotion.
Oh, sorry, SMT all the way.
Freud.
Make your mind up. Surface mount.
Okay, Dave.
Yeah, very easy for me, SMD, because even if you say you can't solder that tiny stuff, if you use 1206 components, it's the same size, the same distance of pins or pads, and it doesn't fall off because you have to turn it around, and then the LEDs fall out of your PCB again, and yeah, SMD.
All right.
Okay, am I back with the audio?
You are with us. Yes.
So TrueHole is easier to start with, and for breadboarding stuff, it's cool, but it's a little bit more expensive than SMT, and I love surface mount for production scale. So if you want to do more than one piece, then definitively start with SMD components. It's the best thing to do.
Did you just drop an octave?
Did I?
Yeah.
Did I? No. Really?
I thought that was just me. I thought, wow, he's got a lot sexier. What's going on here?
Well,
That's
this is
probably
PG,
a little
so-
buggy. I'm not sure what's happening here.
Obviously not your voice.
Synthesized.
Great.
I've
What do you prefer?
I've become a surface mount convert because at first I was afraid of it. But I mean, you can't prototype with it though. You know, you gotta use your breadboards and your through hole. So I feel like similar to coding language, it's a what method are you using and why.
Sure.
Sure.
I prototype with through hole as well. I'm saying that I don't want to put through hole I don't want to have to solder through hole. Like I'll prototype with it on a breadboard, but I won't solder it onto a proto board. I'll go from breadboard to PCB and go to surface mount. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think my microphone is out of batteries and the USB isn't powering it anymore. Can you hear me? I'm not sure I'm using the microphone from my headset right now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great.
All right. So that was the sword fight.
Yeah.
I think we all learned a lot about each other.
So, who won?
I
mean,
believe
there
you didn't do faces versus tabs. God.
So we are all misogynists and we solder with the wrong stuff. We got lots to work on.
I did not say any of that.
Good summary,
No,
Dave. Good summary.
All right.
So we don't know nothing about historical women, and we use the wrong solder. Oh, I feel so awful today.
That was not my intent.
No, yeah, but that maybe explains why we have like 99% male subscribers only and viewers.
I mean, maybe. It's about creating a welcoming environment.
Yeah, sure.
But is there anything else that people wanted to talk about? Or
Yeah, I have something I wanted to show now.
yeah.
Just because I was working on something that might be of interest to you as well, Liz.
Hey,
you-
yeah.
You might have seen the PCBs that I've shared on Twitter, and I also have the version of the Shippo over here,
Oh yeah, I saw his the other day.
and that's probably the best version of the LED straightener. So, or metric straightener. I'm not sure what his product then will be called, but it's soon on Tindy, so I thought I can talk a bit about it. So the LED matrix, when you have this tiny one, it's like one pin is column 8, and then it's row 7, and it's totally mixed up. And if you want a breadboard with these, yeah, it's gonna be a pain to get everything right. So, oh yeah, yeah, Radomir just posted matrix sanitizer, so that makes sense. So the idea then is to solder on this PCB and put the matrix on, and then you have, yeah, my pins are a bit bent, but then you have like you can put it on the breadboard, and it's from 1 to 8 rows and 1 to 8 columns on each side, and yeah,
Oh, nice.
it sanitizes your work with the.
That sounds
Editing.
amazing because otherwise,
Exactly.
yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
Nice.
You should ask him to do a follow-up for the bicolor matrices. They have, it's like 8 by 8 by 8 pins, but there's an 8 in the middle as well.
Yeah, right.
So
He has some designs for that as well.
Yeah, that'd be really handy because I've got a load of those small 2 centimeter bicolors.
Yeah.
And you can't breadboard with them. You can't do anything with them.
He says they are fine, but I'm not sure if he says that regarding the breadboarding. But yeah, he did some designs with that as well, and has. I think he made a game console with that you can program in MicroPython. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Chindy.
Cool.
I can do a very good segue in from the Shippo because where is it? I also got sent. I also bought from Tindy. It's not from him because he doesn't do it anymore. But Dave and Liz should know this. No, I don't think you can see that. It's the
The
jellyfish.
little rainbow buddy.
Yeah. Can you see that? Do you see that? So he's not selling that anymore, but he has got a guy on Tindy who is called CRI Mia, and he's selling these on his behalf. So I got one, and they're like $2. And I know Dave has a good video of it, and Liz has done a good video of it. If no one knows what these are like little 6 LED testing points essentially. So you put the ground on, and you can put the LEDs into your IO that are in and out, and it's just a good visual representation. Check out Liz's video and Dave's video. There it is. That saves me showing through the bubble wrap.
Here we are.
But they're back on stock, and they're only $2. And it's a good little SMD soldering tutorial as well. If you're scared of SMD, there's like 6 resistors, 6 LEDs.
I found this a bit tricky to solder.
Yeah,
because it was like 06, 03 or something. Or was it small? No. But
I think
something
they're
was
603, yeah.
Yeah, that is quite small. But
Yeah.
you know, start there and go big or go home.
I'll go small.
I'll go small, go home. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's
really
definitely-
like.
Oh, sorry.
It's I also like the UI shield for the D1 Mini that he made. He always makes those cool tiny consoles. So yeah, check out the link that I've posted in the chat. Cool stuff.
Okay. And I'll put on the rainbow. That's all from me.
All right. Seon, bitluni, do you have anything else before we open up for questions?
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
I'm good for questions.
All right. Chat, if you've got any questions for us before we wrap up. submit them now.
Crickets.
Yeah, give him time.
No
It's like we need some seconds. So
We've got a question of what time is it?
well, that's
It varies.
We are
That's all.
1 hour and 10
Andy's
minutes
got-
in. It's quite.
Yeah.
Andy Mouse has a question. Andy Mouse 123 for reflow, oven versus hot plate.
ooh, never used a hot plate.
I'll go. So yeah,
I would say
So
oven.
they both work fine, right? I mean, they're both. I mean, if you're talking about a toaster oven, they're both unconventional ways of reflowing because you're supposed to be heating from both sides. But yeah, hot plate, it works fine. If it reflows, it reflows. Just got to be careful you don't scorch.
If you have
So-
all the parts on one side, then yes. Yeah.
Sorry?
James Allen asks, is anyone thinking of working on a collaboration project soon? Nope. Okay. David was.
But bitluni, what about your collaboration? Is there any news?
No, we haven't figured anything out yet. So yeah, and
But you're still talking.
Great Scott was on the Maker Faire, and we talked, and he was was open to maybe collaborate with some of us. So the people that have been there, and yeah, but we didn't talk anything specific yet. So he thinks that it might be a cool collaboration theme where he does the electronics and I do the code or something. So these are our strengths, but yeah, there are no news yet, and I think it will pass some months until something happens there, probably.
I've got a potential collab that maybe people can chime in on. Is me and Dave Watts have always wanted to do a collaboration, but we're too lazy and too we don't know what to do as far as what would gain our strengths and have a good collab video. I assume it would be some kind of 3D printed, and then him doing some kind of electronics with some kind of CMOS logics, but we've never actually come to the conclusion of what should we do, because he is in Leicester and I'm up north, so it's quite close. We're very close in the world that we could actually get together and do a collab. And I think that would be good. But what do we
So
do?
stop being lazy.
Yeah,
Do
I
it.
think that sounds like a great idea. And like what you said, like him doing electronics and you doing 3D printing, I think that'd be perfect.
And we need more specifics, Liz. What is it?
I mean, we can't hold your hand all the way.
You kind of did that with the binary clock, right? So things like that always happen. Like you made cases for Brian's projects as well. So
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
He has that Cricut board that I think he's going to be kitting up. Maybe you could do something so that would maybe like stand like a Cricut, like with legs, maybe.
Yeah, like a glow in the dark fly. What do you call them? Firefly type case or something like that. That was quite cool.
Yeah.
Good idea. We're getting loads of questions in now as well.
Cool.
We had one to you, Liz, saying what is your demographic breakdown, seeing as you are a female maker?
It's not that different from everyone else's. Like I think it's like 5% or 6% female and the 94% male. But there's something about like the Google Analytics, like that's assuming that everyone's also logging in with an account to watch a video, which I don't think everyone does. And I know from my own experience, I didn't put my gender at first on my channel or my Twitter account, and it assumed I was male. So there's that to take into account when you look at that.
Because I know I have 100% male viewer ratio.
Really?
And I would like to think that Liz has watched one of my videos.
I have.
Mine says 99% male, 0% female. So
You lost one.
That's like the whole
mine was
binary.
Mine was like also 95% a few years ago, and now it's got up like to 98 or 99%, and I think the few females are my sister, my mom, and my girlfriend.
I think that Google does a lot of that, like assuming the gender of the viewer if they aren't signing up with an account, or they can also, you don't have to declare your gender with your Google account. So I think some of that is happening.
So does it only count the analytics based on people that have an account?
I don't think so, because it otherwise, like, I think it would be hard to get the other analytics if it was just specifically filtering out gender.
So let's assume it defaults to male, since it's like a 0 in the database and 1 is female. So it's by default, if it doesn't know which gender it is, it's automatically male. So let's just assume that, and we have like 50% female watching.
Yes. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Fair.
Wow, David Watts said his is 84.5 male and 15.5 female. That is super high.
I know why that is, because his early videos, he's got a very popular sock puppet video and like some crafts.
Oh, yeah.
It's not all, not to shoot him down or anything, but it's not all.
Or maybe he's so handsome and
That's right.
has such nice voice.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because he's definitely handsome with his ears lowered.
Oh man.
Awkward silence.
Speaking of David, I saw he'd asked if anyone had seen any tech news they were into lately. So do you guys have any tech news you've seen recently that piques your interest?
Oh, right. There was this Raspberry Pi 4.
When's that coming out?
Damn it.
No, not really.
There was this new ESP chip.
Right.
Actually, I want to start. It's not like new, but it's obviously gaining a lot of traction. I want to start playing with the RISC-V, the RISC-V stuff. I think that's a super exciting space, which is growing pretty quickly. So, yeah, that's something I'd like to get into when I find some time in 2055.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's when I start with FPGAs.
Oh yeah, sure.
There was also a question earlier. Do you live in fear of ESD?
Never.
That was James being a smart ass, I think, because of me. But anyway.
Actually, yes, but never with electronics. But when I go shopping, it's always like, bzzzt, shopping cart, yay. I have no idea why, but yeah, always.
The shoes. It's your shoes.
Probably, yeah. And my slurping. Is it slurping? No, that's the wrong word for it. Schlürfen? No, it's weird. Like,
Yeah, there's a bit of a running thing on my streams where we talk about ESD, because I don't really use much ESD or any ESD protection.
It's not worth it.
And, you know, I leave my tiny picos in plastic containers, which horrifies a lot of people. But yeah, so there's this whole ESD doesn't exist conversation that keeps happening on my streams. Pretty funny.
I will say I once had an issue with ESD with a Tinkerboard. It was when I had first gotten it and I was testing it, and I hadn't put a heat sink on it yet. I was curious how the CPU felt, and it was winter, and I touched the CPU and I saw a spark.
ooh.
And the whole thing shut down, and I really thought I'd fried it, and I was like, oh no. It did boot back up, but that is my ESD story, I guess.
Wow. I never had an ESD issue before, and since years, and since I'm always working with replaceable stuff, so for $5, I don't bother. It's not worth to bothering all the time and having wristbands and whatnot. I have a carpet producing 10 kilovolts all the time, and so I don't care, and I never had an issue before.
Yeah, I think the Tinkerboard thing was a freak thing. But I used a wristband once when building a PC the first time, but I didn't the next time.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, ESD exists, it's a real thing.
Right, yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
100%.
It's obviously it's less problematic these days, I think, with the the type of materials they're using, and you know, like I've got a couple of reels that for some of my parts, and they've got really big warnings on them saying, you know, these parts are ESD sensitive, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then I've got other reels of parts that there's still chips and there's still the same type of stuff, and there's just no mention anywhere about, and these aren't like Chinese brand stuff, like these are proper branded things, and there's no mention of ESD anywhere on them. So I don't know, I just think it's more a cautionary thing now than an actual problem.
Yeah, definitely.
Superhouse, so John Oxer, Superhouse TV, was saying in his chat that he's got a 962C, which is the wide version, like of the reflow oven, and sometimes he said like it's earth, like mine is, but sometimes if he wears a specific jacket and he walks from the bench to open the handle, he gets a zap. I actually get that as well on mine. I've got like one pair of shoes that if I wear those shoes in my office, I get a zap when I touch the oven, but I don't get a zap when I touch anything else metal in my office, just the oven, and it's earthed. So I don't know why that.
Did you fix that earthing of the case?
No, it's earthed. Like it's proper. It's been checked by an electrician. Like it's fine. Just one pair of shoes it happens with. It's really weird. So I don't wear those shoes in my office.
They're banned.
They're banned.
All right. Oh, David, have you got any side projects that don't make it to social channels like YouTube?
Yes, all the time. Most of my projects don't make it to YouTube. I hate recording projects. But yeah, recently, like non-electrical projects, things that you just don't think would be suitable for your channel. Sometimes I do think, well, I've got some various projects I want to do. I'd like to video them and like vlog them and show people, the progress. But it's like, do I need that on my channel? Is it going to help me? Is it going to help my channel? So things like DIY, like doing gardening. I'm currently doing my garage up for my own little maker space, and just building under stairs storage and things like that.
But videos like that go gangbusters. When people do like, I'm kitting up my garage to be a makerspace, they do really well. Yeah,
so I think, well, maybe I should do that, but then it's like, oh, it's just so much work. I just want to do it. I just want to do it. I just want to get out and do it.
Yeah.
Amazing, Steve-o.
Yeah.
So I have a follow-up question to that. Do you guys allow like the fact that you have a YouTube channel to affect the projects that you work on, or is your YouTube channel just documenting the projects that you would naturally be working on?
I do a bit of both. Like Brian and I talk about this quite a lot. Like sometimes, like if you care about building your channel, then sometimes you need to do what the internet wants to see, like rather than to see what you want to do. And like I do a bit of both, I think, and I'm more passionate about the projects that I want to make. But often they do worse in terms of stats and views on YouTube than if you try to work on something that's a hot topic at the time, or, it's really hard. It's a tough balance. I still haven't decided if I want to be a YouTuber, if I want to be a maker, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel guilty when I'm not trying to build my YouTube channel, like build it. But I also, it's my channel. I want to do what I want on it. Does that make sense? It's a tough balance.
It's like a lot more work to deliver the quality that, at least for my channel, it's like that. So if I do projects, I consider from the beginning to publish it, because that's my main income, or at least I try to make a living from it. And I would say it's like 3 times the time to invest to make a video of a project. So if I would just do it for myself, I always do like things that I want to do anyways. So that doesn't affect me, but that I spend much more time on doing them probably affects me, because I don't have the time to do other projects. But also on the first question, I do a lot of gardening, and I have like footage of 1.5 terabytes of footage of urban gardening projects and stuff like that that went really well last year and this year as well. And I have vegetables and whatnot. And I always thought I will do on my trash channel the urban gardening seasons. And I'm filming season 2 currently with the garden. And I have tons of potatoes and everything and like stuff. But I never managed to get this done because I am busy with doing videos for my first channel. So like editing billions of minutes of footage will never happen probably.
I do that from time to time. That when I have a project that I want to get on fast with, like have it done in a very fast amount of time, then I'm not gonna film it. And so I made I had a project with a friend. He's playing the guitar at a wedding, and he wanted to have some backtracks and wanted to have something that plays songs when he wanted to have something that he can control with his feet. So we bought like the pedals and connected an Arduino to an MP3 player module and everything. And I've never filmed it, but I think it would be a nice project. But yeah, we wanted to get that done fast.
I've recently been like trying to just do projects I'm interested in and not really think about like views or anything like that, and like seeing the video as like part of the project. But yeah, it ebbs and flows. Everyone has their own thing.
I think John, Super House TV put it perfectly. It's the overhead on the project. If you want to video it and you want to film it, it's the overhead. So something that will take you 5-10 minutes will take you an hour. So, well, do you want to get the thing done or do you want to document it? That's
but the flip side, though, the flip side of like what Liz was just saying is that you work on something that you're passionate about, but you still make a video about it, but you put it on there, and then it's kind of disappointing if the video doesn't go well, because that kind of like, is that a reflection on your project and maybe it wasn't as good as you thought, or was that a reflection on the quality of the video, or was it just a bad release time? It can get a bit demoralizing when other people don't appreciate. Not appreciate's the wrong word. When other people aren't as excited about the thing that you're excited about, purely because maybe you didn't spend enough time videoing it better or presenting it better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's just summer and everyone is outside. So you will never know on some projects.
You Europeans complaining about this heat wave.
All right. It is, we're at an hour and a half. Do we want to wrap up, or are there a couple more questions, or?
I think it's a good time to wrap up. Hour and a half sounds good.
All right. Thank you everyone for watching. Does anyone have any quick projects they want to plug before we run away?
Raspberry Pi 4? No?
Yes. Perfect.
Does everyone in the chat or that's watching go subscribe to everyone's channels? That's all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Watch more Element 14.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you next month with a new host. Not sure who that is yet, but someone. All right.
Thanks, Liz. Well done. Good hosting.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for watching.
No problem.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
Liz.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.